Ta-da-da-da! It is Doc from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and Happy New Year again. Another Happy New Year. Let's see, what do we got here? Let's get to the page. Rob and I were strategizing on another project we have, so got tangled a little bit. That's life. That's the way it's supposed to be. Nothing is easy. Especially with markets, we're always working at it, day in and day out. Nothing stops us from... honestly, we never seem to stop. But anyway, here we are, and let's get rolling along here. As you can see there is the Swissy. Swissy's broken that 88 area. Let's widen that a little bit. Bring that down, like so. And as you can see on... Where are you? Where'd you go? And let's go over to here. And let's go back to... Oh no, what did I do? I accidentally closed something out there. Doc's going to open it up again. Where are you? There it is. Open Sesame. And so there it is there, the Dukascopy currencies that we pay attention to. Like all the currencies. And so don't be scared to ask any questions about it. We're always willing to yak about it. And there it is right there, the Swiss. You can see Swiss is pushing down like yesterday. And what's curious, look at the... I saw that last night too when I was filling out the fact check spreadsheet. I was like, "What is that thing doing? It's trying to get into a daily buy." So I guess little shorts in there, or I guess longs. I guess in this case, in some aspect. Remember, when the dollar Swiss goes down, it's gaining in value because there are less saltine Swiss francs basically out there to be purchased. How do you work that? Yeah, so it takes more dollars to purchase more saltines or Swiss francs. That's what it comes down to. I think they call it saltine, don't they? They used to call it a saltine. I remember in the old days they used to call that. George, Doc, what chart service do you use for your quants? Thanks. I use two of them. I use the old trade station mainly because my code is written in the easy language, and so I use that, and I use the multi-chart. Those two combinations. They're good charting services. If I write it in C+, then I could use all the charting services. So it just all comes down to the fact that it's written in in that. So they're good programs. Both of them are really good programs. I was a beta tester for TradeStation for decades, for at least a decade, not that with the cruises. And let me think. I use an old 2000i that I bought at the very when it first came out, which was an independent platform, and runs well. Have I ever used is that ARM broker? Let me see what that is. Let me move that down a little bit closer. Let's just bring it down. AMI broker? No. And I use the Dukascopy J4X, which is really good. For now, I can't put my code into it, but I use it and I just commingle it with other public orders. So, but yeah, 2000i exactly, and it's a good tool. It's a good tool. There's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, I was a beta tester for a long time. I still use it. I'm still running it, and it's fine. Most of these softwares are pretty much all equal. It all comes down to your coding into them. In other words, if it's C+ or Python or something like that versus easy language, which very few use easy language now. So, but overall, these charting programs do basically the same. I always hear people go, "Oh, this one's better than that one," and blah blah. I've seen so many programs throughout my lifetime of 40 years in the marketplace that I don't find any of them being any better than the others. It's probably more the user-friendly side of it. They're all going to have pretty much the same stuff, that type of thing. Yeah. I'm feeding it. I feed it with my brokerage account. It works out well. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's a retail just charting data service that would probably satisfy it also. But yeah, it's a good system. They're all good systems. Like I said, I think what it really comes down to is just which one you feel comfortable with as a trader. That's probably the best way of describing it. Is what one you feel comfortable with, what you can execute with more freely and so forth. I think that's usually the answer to it all. One size never fits all. That's the one thing I have learned over the long time now, is one size never fits all. And so that is probably the what someone else, like, when I was younger, everybody was into CQG and Aspen and all that. Then I think they may even be merged now. I'm not even sure, but they had some interesting indicators too, their bracket indicator. So I mean, there's a lot of different tools out there that you can chase after. But again, I always go with the attitude of whatever you feel comfortable with, user wise. Because remember, you're staring at it for lots of periods of time, and you're trying to uh, you know, basically, make trades through it, or create a robot that makes the trades through it, that type of thing. And so it all comes down to the coding and how comfortable you are to the coding, and it's just all that put together. So I hope that answered your question. Let's see. I see. AIM broker, broker. I remember AIM. I do. I kind of do remember an AIM. Is more for writing trading systems coded in C and C++, I believe. Hey, how you doing? Is it Farkas? Where have you been hiding? Happy New Year to you. Hello to you too. Yeah, and George, there's never any there's no no limit to any questions. There are no, as I always say, like I say that's to Farkas, and I've said it to so many others. There is no stupid questions in trading and money. There are only long answers or short answers. So don't be afraid to, basically endeavor and try to figure out more of what you're thinking and see if it makes any sense. Robin and I just had a conversation. It goes from the gambit of 40 years ago right to where we're at right now. So you never know what you're going to relearn again. Should OTC derivatives be banned? OTC derivatives, they sound kind of dangerous. You know what I think is really bad in the derivative side? Swaps for the major banks. I think they may come under the category of OTC derivatives. But swaps, I find that the swap market has been a bad thing for major banks, because it was one thing to do a swap when banks, were doing swaps on, say, 20 or 30% of their equity. Now, like Deutsche Bank, what do you think really killed Deutsche Bank more than anything else? Not counting, bad management, but their swap market. They had a swap market in size of almost $70 trillion. 70 trillion, not billion, not million. They were like 68 point something, 69 point something in swaps. They over-the-counter swaps, okay? And that's what OTC stands for, over-the-counter. And hey, Happy New Year, Samuel. How you doing? And so that's what killed them. And the bank regulators were foolish enough to allow these swap markets. They become incredible sizes. So could you imagine? Deutsche Bank is based in Germany. Germany's GDP is what? I don't know, $750 billion, $1 trillion, $500 billion, I don't know, $1.5 trillion. What's the GDP of Germany? I mean, it's not 70 trillion, I can tell you that. The United States' GDP is something like 21 trillion or something like that, or 23 trillion. So guess who is the second largest swap bank in the world? Yes, the one that the Federal Reserve owns right now, and that is Citibank, who has never, ever recovered. It fell from like $65, $70 a share down to like $1.50, $2, and I think it trades now for like $4 a share. I think it's $5. I don't know, something like that. I don't know. Where's C at right now? So let me go see where the stock is. See, just for curious sake. So Citibank's stock symbol is C. It's basically controlled by the Federal Reserve. Oh, it's trading at $6. Woohoo! So it fell from $67 and is trading at $6. Now, what they did to trick you and me is they did a reverse split to pretend that something's good is going on. So what a reverse split is let's say you own 100 shares of Citibank. Okay? They took a 10-for-1 inverse, and now you only own 10 shares of Citibank. A 10-for-1. So if you owned 1,000 shares, now you own 100 shares. If you owned 100 shares, now you only own 10 shares. So now the stock is trading at $60 a share, but it's not really. You know, it fell from $67 a share down to about $1.50, $2, and now it's trading at $6 after what? Since 2008. So for over almost 13 years now, all it could do is bounce from $2 to $6. Okay, and same thing happened to Deutsche Bank. Deutsche Bank, same way. And I understand the swap market now, their position in the swap market is down into about $36 trillion. I mean, could you imagine? They can't grow because they can't afford to take any of that stuff off. Because if they did, can you imagine if they took it off wrong and they lost a $500 billion? The country doesn't even have a GDP of a $500 billion probably. Someone can jump in and tell me what the GDP of Germany is. It can't be much more than like a trillion and a half. So can you imagine your number one bank in your country has a position on it's almost $70 trillion. I mean, imagine if they unwind that wrong and they lose just, I don't know, 2%. What's 2% of $70 trillion? What's that? Like, I don't know, 300 billion? You know, a quarter trillion dollars. I mean, just from a bad unwind. So, all this information is being hidden from the public. That's why Doc does his webinar every day. Because I cannot take how much they lie and criminality of the news. Let's see. Oh, okay. Here's Farkesh says, how do they balance the books? How do they put forward the margin requirements in OTC derivatives? They don't. They get away with it. A bank only has to have 1 penny for or 2 pennies to every dollar in the bank. So in other words, if you have a $70 trillion position, they only have to have I don't know, what's that? 1 penny to that is $700 billion. Doesn't, they may have the assets of that, but they also may have a debt. I mean, in essence, they may have a debt of like 2 or 3 trillion. So they just let them do that. That's the way banking works. So margin requirements is up to the Federal Reserve or your central bank for these major banks. So it's just a criminality of it all, as usual. See. So Samus says Happy New Year. I said that back. I see. So Forecast says the gross domestic product of Germany is it's basically about $500 billion. It's 384. Right? 3845. So in dollar terms in 2019 according to official data. Yeah. So I mean it's and they're in there for 69 trillion. I think they got as high as like $69.2 trillion dollars. Not billion, not million, trillion. And so the bankers, that's why no one's willing to buy Deutsche Bank, and that's why it's trading at all-time lows. We have no problem doing the quant service. It's easy. This is fun for us. There's no reason why it would go away. It's fun. It's the First Amendment in America. Unless the communists get in control here where they take away the First Amendment. We're just giving you our opinion on the numbers that we read. That's what it's all about in the end result. George, I appreciate your statement there. And that's what we try to do. We're just old floor traders trying to tell you what we see and what we know. And when we don't know something, we're experienced enough where I know, I hear you. George is up today. So, and what we don't know, we usually know where to go to find it. That's what it comes down to. It's not that we know everything. is that we pretty much know where to go when we don't know something. That's what it really comes down to. And that's the real key right there. And then we fight to get the right information, not the fake information. And that's where we're always at. And that's the name of the game. So anyway, there's the dollar against the Swiss franc, or the old saltine. I don't know if they even call it the saltine anymore. And I remember when I was young, when I was a kid on the trading floor, back in the old days when I was a kid on the trading floor, they used to call it the Swiss saltine. Yep, exactly. So there we are. You can see that. So there's obviously pressure on the dollar and strength in the pairs. Now let's take a look at where do we go from here. Let's go over to which mouse is that? Is that it? That's the mouse right there. So let's move this mouse over here too. All right. So let's go to the euro. See what the euro's up to. I saw the euro slide into the sell there yesterday, right there. It's on the fact check spreadsheet. There it is right there. So you can see it closed in the sell yesterday. It's not exactly going down, but the pressure is on. We're seeing some weird stuff like that. Saw something really weird occur. They put a bunch of data in on the silver, and wait till you see the silver. It's gonna drive you crazy because it's driving me crazy. And so then that's the euro, and you can see we're breaking the time manifold right there. Oh, cool! Great minds think alike there, forecast. We went there together. So there's the euro, and you can see we're trying to break the time manifold. You can see the histogram is shrinking down. There's the zero line. We'll keep an eye on that. This is through here. I don't know what is going on here. We'll see how it goes. We got a little red dot, but it's still higher than it was yesterday. So it's acting kind of firm there for the moment. Then let's look at cable. Cable, same situation. Oh, look at cable now. It's starting to play with its daily sell number 2. Let's refresh this. There we are. We were thinking it was going to play its way up to like the 38 area. 138, maybe to 42, but bounce like that. That's the range I think it wants to try to climb into. We'll see. And we'll see how they hold up with that stuff there. Let me see. Oh, this is the one where we threw the Bollinger Bands in just for the fun of it. Remember that? It was a conversation last year. Back last year, we talked about the Bollinger Bands. I think it was like last Wednesday. So anyway, there it is right there. Last year. And so there we're going to see some pressure there too. So some of these products are kind of interesting in the sense that the dollar is firming up against them at the moment. Not a lot, just a little. Now, let's see. We drift over to the Turkish Lira to see what's going on. That was getting kind of close to the... let me do this with the fact check spreadsheet right there so you can at least see it. And move that over a little bit more. There we are. And so you can see there the euro on line 14. Wow, you can't even see it. We got to move that over a little bit. Ooh. Oh, good. We can change sizes there. Whoa. And then I go like that. Okay, there we go. And so line 14. Oh, I messed it up again. There it is. Line 14. Why do I keep on saying line 14 and I keep on missing it? There it is. 1. So you see right there, it's 11 days and 11 weeks in a buy, and it slipped 1 day in a buy. Let's see if we can shrink that down again. There it is. So you can see it right there on the fact check spreadsheet. Fact check spreadsheet right there. Okay. Now, yeah, we're going to Turkish Lira. Let's see what the Turkish Lira is doing. Also, let's check it out on J4X. We'll run through them really quick here, too, at the same time. And so there's the euro in there, and I want you to see how it likes to match up with our work. So that's a good thing. It's about a 68 to 72% accuracy rate following our work, which is neat. You know, I mean, it's a public, indicator. So, you can see here it's breaking down. It broke down there. And it's that weakness we've been seeing. And then for cable low, let's see what the cable says. There's the cable. Same situation. It's trying. It's probably just about breaking the dotted line. Let's see. Yep, see? Just breaking it now for that weakness there. And we're getting a red candle out of the Hinky Ashi. Matching up very well. Let's see. We don't have a... you can see here. Let me do this. You can see here on cable. We don't have a dot at all at the moment. And you can see it's trying to break down just like this is trying to break down. Let's see. Oh, hey, George. The demo screen is covering the quant chart, at least on mine. Oh, it probably is. Here, let me just do that. There we are. So you can see it right there. It's trying to break down just like that. Right there. See the characteristics. And that's what the whole thing is about. Remember, this is about that guy named Al Einstein. He came up with this concept of relativeness. I'm not sure if he came up with relativity now. I'm starting to be convinced that it was a joke. It had to be a physics joke. Because we all know what is real, his paper says nothing about relativity. I mean, the paper he published in physics was called Moving Bodies in an Electromagnetic Field. That's the name of his paper. So where did they come up with relative? Now, I want to show you where I think they came up with the relative. You ready for this? Let me see if I can find it. Robin, you ready to laugh? Let's see. Where is it at? We'll find this in a second. I think this is where they got the relative symbol. Let me just minimize that for a second. Is that it right there? I think that might be it. Yeah, that's it right there. Okay, so we're going to put the chart back up. And this is Al Einstein. And I think this is how they named the paper relativity. Okay? I'm dead serious, 100%. Right there. Because that's his cousin. That's his second cousin. Or a third, one or the other. Second or third. Now, does that look like, I don't know, I'd say she's in her 30s at that point. Obviously, they have a little bit friendlier relationship than you would normally understand, I would say. So, remember, he was married to her mother. And she's in her 30s. Uh-huh. Yeah. So I think that there's no real mention in the relativity paper about the word relative. I mean, there's talked about where it's two entities, from two different perspectives, and it's relative to them. But the paper's name, if you want to, I tricked this one physicist about 6 months ago. She was on a rampage, and I said to her, something, she was rambling about something, and I was totally against what she said. And I said, so then you've never read, what did I say? I said, you've never read moving bodies on a electromagnetic field. It took her about 15-20 minutes, and she goes, yes, of course I read the relativity paper. Yeah. Took her 15-20 minutes to actually figure out what the hell I was talking about. Because as far as I'm concerned, this is how they labeled it, the relative paper. Yeah. They were saying him. He's into his relatives. That's what they were saying. That's exactly what I think it is. So it was a joke between Heisenberg and Planck and all those guys. They were making jokes about him. That's all they were doing. It's like Schrodinger's cat. Schrodinger tells everybody over and over again that it's a warning that there's a problem with quantum mechanics. And what do? They take Schrodinger's work and they pretend that he's saying, yes, quantum mechanics is fine. And he's made a cat that could be dead or alive, or a theory that that cat could be dead or alive. And it's okay. So anyway, we use the concept of relative, and it's not like we're going after our second or third cousin. It's one line relative to another, a perspective, two different perspectives. And that's what it is of two different objects. And that's what we do. You use that. And so it's a slow D versus a fast D. And then the power is the purple dashed line, which is the CCI. And it matches up pretty well with, our work there. It's not, like I said, it's not perfect. It's about 68 to 70%. But you know what? When you don't have anything, then hell, it's well worth having. That's for sure. So anyway, there's Doc's idea of real... Let's see. Oh, where is it? Doc, demo. Let's see. So George says, sorry, I just realized you're working both screens. Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, I'm rocking and a rolling and a reeling here. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. That's right. Like Elvis Presley. Elvis the pelvis. All right, let's check out Turkish Lira. So that's my opinion. And I just got that opinion no more than like all because I'm doing Dukascopy webinar. I would have never discovered that one in physics, you know. Next time I'm in Princeton, I'll be hitting them with that one. Oh yeah, they'll love that one. Yeah, and what I do now is I use it as an entrapment for physicists who want to be cockier than they deserve to be. I use the real name for his paper, and it's wonderful. You should see the hesitation. They kind of disappear for a little bit, and then they come back and say, "Yes, of course I've read the relativity paper." You haven't read it because you don't even know the name of it. You read it all right, but you didn't really pay attention to it. And so we know what the relative is. It's his second cousin. That's what it is. All right. Now, let's see. What do we got going on? Here's Turkish Lira. You can see the white line is broken through. We're starting to see some strength in here. Let's put it up on J4X. And let's go right to there. And so that is, you can see here, our white line. Let's make that a little bit, we'll move this down a little bit. Notice the time manifold with the white line. It's still running hot and heavy down. Now let's put the daily up a little bit. Let's widen it out a little bit. Remember, my indicators are very sensitive. They go into the tens of thousands. They go into millions because my work was designed for physics. You know, and then I started putting it to the marketplace back in 78, 79, and then in 1981 I went to the trading floor. In 1980 I went to the trading floor at the end of the year and tried to implement it right on the trading floor itself. So you can see here it's not, the histogram is still minus. You can see that there. That's plot 1. It's minus 0.0074, and believe me, the digits can keep on going. I just limit them. And then and you can see plot 4 is minus 0.0148. Because remember, the white and the black are basically the same. They'll both be plus or they'll both be minus because it's one gas line. It's a gas line 3. And then there's gas 7. And when it's a super, you know, like a gas 3.5, then it could be, because it's two different gas lines. We're using a plot 6, whereas these only have a plot 5. The super becomes the plot 6 so that we have a standard reference frame. So there we are. All right. Traders, anybody wants to ask any questions, fire away, please. Oh, crude, let's check it out. Let's see, Doc, sometime if you have time, I have time now. You ask, you shall receive. It's like, seek and you shall find. Doc, sometime if you have time, can you look at the crude on the quants, please, for your opinion? Oh, sure. Let's go there. And there it is right there. There. Oh, and also we've switched the cattle for anybody that's following the feeders. We switched it out to the March contract there. Oh, wow. We'll have to talk about that when we get back from oil. What a wild and woolly game that's been. And there's crude oil and Feb. You can see it's trying to pop back up. Notice we couldn't get into the daily sell there. Let's just refresh this. Even when it was weak, they couldn't do it. And look at the time manifold. Right there, right? The goldish line. And here, let's move that over more. Like that. There's the weekly. And then there is the daily quant. And so you can see here, the green line can't even come down and touch the manifold. It's trying. It's sliding. But, yeah, we're going sideways. No wonder. And look at it. It's fighting the battle back up again. So, on the currency side, we're assuming then we should see, if this is going up strong, we should see a Canadian dollar that's down. Let's just check it real quick, and we can come back to this. I just want to see where the Canadian is. Right there. So see, it is moving down again. And it's still in a sell. You can see there, it popped up yesterday with the loss in oil. And let's see what NASCAD looks like. NASCAD, I think, tried to go into a sell day ahead of it, didn't it? I I think it did. Yeah, see, a day of it went into the sell. And you can see now, look at that bounce off of the zero line on the weekly. It says like, hell no. But look at the daily. It's still weak, and it's still coming down from the highs. So that's there. So there it is with the crude oil. You can see it's trying to move up. Let's see. What's it? Yoruba Heritage Organization. Hey, I like that. Whatever that is, that sounds like fun. What's your view on the Dow? That's how I got my nickname. Bunch of guys on the trading floor. I had predicted some very interesting events to occur over a 7-day period, and it happened on one of the trading exchanges I was on. And one day I walked onto the trading floor, walking by a post, and all I hear is Doc. And I was like, Doc. And I was like, huh? Doc Murray. I said, what's up? He goes, you're doctor of the Dow. I said, what do you mean I'm doctor of the Dow? He says, yeah, you're doctor of the Dow. Because you predicted 7 days of action, and it actually happened. Identical to the way you suggested. And I was like, well, I'm just following my math, that's all. And that was it. I'm the doctor of the Dow. What's your view on the Dow? Well, the Dow is an interesting product. It's got, 5 or 6 NASDAQ stocks in it now. All the biggies like Apple and Microsoft and Intel and Cisco Systems and Salesforce, and what else is there? There might be one other one in there. I think there's 6 NASDAQ stocks. So it is a manifestation of our modern market at this point. I think that it was all-time highs 2 days ago, and they sold it off a little bit. We'll take a look at it right now and see. Do you think yesterday's move was the start of a sell-off? Nah, because it was just a fear of the politics. We're still stuck in political market. So there was some news that came out about the Trumpy, and so the market got slammed, and it came back about 50%. And you can see, I think today it's coming back more, or was at least. There is the futures contract. You see, it's just a little bit up for the day. Got a green dot going on. Now they're showing, let's refresh that. Now they're showing it to be in a daily buy from yesterday almost, because it's a red and green. Oh, that's not right. Now there it goes. It's in the sell again. So there it is right there. I had to refresh it to make sure it's all filled in right. And so you can see it's still in the sell. It's been in the sell from here. That was all politics yesterday right there. Money ran thinking, oh my God, we're going to actually have to put up with Biden. And then they realized that maybe not. And you can see here we're trying to go. Now, this is something really weird. I'm not sure why I cannot see the price scale. Format price scale. Let's see what that does. I'm not sure why we're not seeing the zero line. So we have to just put the indicator there. And so you can see plot 1 is the green. It's still plus. There it is minus 10.20. So they're both playing the sell side right now, trying to get into the zero there. The histogram is the same way. The histogram is plot 4. It's minus 20.00. It's just changed. It's trading live. So, oh, thank you. How about if I just call you Heritage? I like that. Because I'm an original member of the Heritage Foundation. Let's see. So yeah, I would say that it's just political noise at the moment, and nothing more than that. Maybe some profit taking from the gain of the year. Anything's possible. In there, a combination of all of it. There's the markets are not exactly deep, so in other words, not a lot of volume in these markets. Anything can sway them. And as traders, as professional traders, if they're knocking the market down, I'm not exactly going to buy it, even if I want to buy it. I'm going to let them I'm going to allow them to knock it down. Remember, buy low, sell high, not buy high, and sell low. It's the other way around. So when they're taking a market apart, traders are going to stand to the side and let them do it until they find a bottom, not make a bottom. So that's the way it rolls there, Heritage. All right, where are we at now? Let's jump over to, we did oil. Did we? Yeah, we did oil. Where's oil? Yeah, there's the oil. Let me just save that too. I'm going to save that. I want to save the let's move that down so it doesn't interfere. Why are you doing that? Is that the wrong mouse? That's probably why. There it is. That was the wrong mouse. So now let's save the Dow. So when Robin and I send our work out, you can see that. And then let's go back to the crude and save the crude. You can see crude being very, very firm. We refreshed that already once, so that's fine, and we'll save the crude. And then, let's see, what else there? Anybody have any other questions? Nothing so far. Just remember, traders, there are no dumb or foolish questions. There are only long or short answers. That's all it comes down to. Oh, yeah, check silver out. This is going to drive you crazy. It drives me crazy. Look at this. They gave me some red dots. I refreshed it. And the next thing I know is I've got 2 red dots. And now the buy that we had yesterday is gone. Where'd the buy go? Where'd it go? We had a buy in there. So, I mean, I had the line in there like that. And, you can see it's up from yesterday. But look at the indicator. It's trying to tell us they want to sell it down. We've seen this happen. It happens once in a while. That's why our math is 8.5 out of 10 instead of 10 out of 10. It happens once in a while, especially when they keep on changing data on us. So I mean, that makes it even worse, is that these Blackpool trading not report until like 2 in the morning stuff. It's like the election. They like to play games. That's what that comes down to. So we're going to save that, and we're going to leave that green line in there because that's what it was. And then the moment it even remotely shows a daily sell, we'll get rid of the green and throw the red in there. But that's the disaster that we've woken up to this morning. Now, look at gold. Gold's the other way around. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Let's get rid of that 0 line reference there. Just go like that one. And so when we do a refresh on gold, it's fine. And but look at that. They did the same thing. They filled in data last night at like 1 or 2 in the morning, and from yesterday, after the market's closed and there's no more, and it's this bar here. The next thing you know is it's now down below. So we're just leaving it in the buy until we see a signal that says no. Especially with both of them being in weekly buys, there's no way in the world I want to try to guess what the heck they're doing. And that happens every so often. I hate that. I really hate that. Where the data comes in, the volume is totally different now than what it was on the close yesterday. They do that stuff to us. And then you can see here, this is the S&P 500, just like we looked at the Dow, just some weakness in there at the moment. Nothing major. They need the election to be finally over with so they can tell what policies. And when we've got a socialist president, a socialist presidential candidate, possibly trying to take over the country through illegal means. So I mean, why wouldn't money be scared? I don't understand why it can't be scared. It should be scared. It's not like it's going to, it's not like capitalism light and capitalism, premium. It's capitalism premium against socialism premium. So, the things they're talking about doing are crazy. All right. And so that's where we are there. I don't see any other questions on any other products. Does anybody want to see anything? Just you don't even have to remember. You don't have to worry about it popping up on the chat line. Just we'll just go look at it. Let me think. What else can I show you? Just showed you gold and silver and the 2 stock indices. Let me think. What else can we show you? How about if we take a look at some of the? Let me think. How about if we look at some of the grains? Oh, I wanted to show you. You know what I wanted to show you until someone comes up with something. Oh, soybeans. Good. Oh, first, Farkas says CAD. Let's show them the CAD. All right, let's go back to the CAD, and then from there we're going over to like soybeans. Soybeans are on fire. Fire. Bum, bum, bum. Now there is the, you can see we're in a daily sell, and you can go over to to the fact check spreadsheet right there, and you can see that's CAD. CAD is 20, so we are now. See that we have. It was in a buy last night. No, it's in a sell still. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 days in a sell. I don't know why it says 1 in there. Did I? Oh, there it is. 6 days in a sell. There it is. And so you can see here. Oh, where's our red line at? Red line should be right there. I guess we have no one's asked for a while. I guess that's what it comes down to. There it is, right there. Tried to go into a buy yesterday. I guess at one point, who knows? The histogram might have been plus. They added more data there. Who knows? You can see here the weekly is trying to lift. I mean, it's trying. It's been in a weekly sell for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 full weeks since the 31, 32-ish area there. So, what else can we say about CAD? I guess that's about it. Is that enough for you, Forecast? I can go look for more stuff and information if you want. But you can see there, that's the pressure there. Let's see it on J4X real quick. Let's see, J4X. Because, you know, you're talking trading. You're talking investing money. So, well, at least I can do is tell you what the math and the idea, you know, the concepts are there. And you can see there, it's looking kind of firm in there too. Yeah, look at that. Getting a little green candle. You see the white line is piercing the little dotted line. See that right there? You know, that relative thing from Al Einstein again. Hey, Mach, like in Mach 7. I like that. What about Bitcoin? Bitcoin has been, let's see, I'll throw it up there, and then we're heading over to sewer beans. Where is it at? Is it there? No, it's not there. Let's go to there. And there's your Bitcoin. You can take a gander at it, and we'll come back to it in a few seconds. Right there. Now, you see it. That's cute. It was in a sell there yesterday, and I know it's a sell on our spreadsheet. And let me just refresh that. Now look at that. We got green dots. Ah, man, I don't know what is going on here with this data coming in. There's like, that's a third one. It's been whack. Now let's go to soybeans real quick, and then we'll go back and try to dissect that. As far as I'm concerned, the cryptocurrencies are very firm. I know that, I think it was JP Morgan or Morgan Stanley came out yesterday and said they see $100,000 Bitcoin. There's beans. Look at that. Is that at the high of the day? Let's refresh that. Okay, right there. So it's at the high of the day. Not yesterday's high though. Still looking firm in there. We've been in a buy since here, and you can see it's bounced off the time manifold and just kept on riding. That's soybeans. And so let's see that Bitcoin, and then I just want to show you. Look at this. There's hogs. Hogs took off. It's in the buy, right? And they took off yesterday. Let's refresh that. And then what cracked me up was the cattle. Look what they did to the cattle. We were in that daily sell. Boy, did they smack a doodle that. Now they're even going after the weekly. And then where's the feeders? Now that's March feeders. They did the same thing. We're in a daily sell on the March feeders from that. Next day got a volatility signal, and it just rolled over. That's why it doesn't go into a buy there, because we got a red and green dot. It needs to wait to the next day to be able to, or next bar, not the next day as much as the next bar. And so it didn't work very well there. So that's where that's at. Let me make sure I'm answering all questions. And let me go back to Bitcoin real quick again. Bitcoin, now they're back up to 32. And remember yesterday, there was a 28,000 trade. They took that trade out. Remember that? We were talking about it. It was 28,400 and change yesterday. That's all gone. Doesn't exist. Now the low is 30,885. Yesterday's low was 28,440. That's right. And that's what shifts the math when they change the prices on us. because I have no control over that. We're just using, their work. Let's see. So I hope that helped you out there, Mock. Let's see. Heritage says, in the long term, do you see yen weakness? The yen and the dollar seem to always march along together. So, let's look at euro yen. It looks like it is ranging. Could pop. Let's see. Usually, like, where are we at on that? On the spreadsheet, where's that at? That's like 17, is it? Let's see. We'll find it here. Yeah, that's Turkish Lira. 19, that's it, right there. It's 3 weeks in the sell, and it's 3 days in the sell in the yen. Now let's go to, there's dollar yen. That's what we're following there, and you can see the pressure on it. Whoop, let's move this out of the way. There we are. And then you were asking about euro yen. If I can find that. There's cable yen. Let's see cable yen for the fun of it. There's cable yen. It's a little bit more jumbly. Went into the buy for this right there. And then it climbed a little bit. You can see the week. Now see, that's interesting. We must have been euro yen in there. Let's put euro yen in there. I bet somebody asked us about cable yen last week. Cancel. I think that's what happened because we usually do look at the euro yen. There it is right there. And I bet our weekly and all that match up to it in the end. I kind of remember doing that. There we are. And there's the euro yen. Yeah, no, that still doesn't make any sense. So let's move that over to there. The buy is right there. And this stuff in here. The sell was there. That makes sense. There's a sell right there. Goes into a buy right there. And then goes right back into a sell right there. And let's do this. Fix that. And then let's look at the dailies and see if the dailies saved us in any way. Alright, so that's there. So we'll move that down a little bit. And then we can move this sell to there. We can take that buy and move it there. There's a choppy little thing in it. There's a sell there. And then there is there's the buy right there. And then the sell right there. I think it goes in and out, doesn't it? So it goes into the sell there. The green dot is, let's move another line in there, see if we can match that up. Yeah, I think it's a green line. Let's do this. Let's extend that up so you can see what I'm talking about. Is that it? No, that's not it. It's right there. There we are. Yeah, so it goes into the buy there, and then the next day it goes into a sell again. Well, it's a really choppy thing, isn't it? And it kind of goes sideways for a couple of days, up a little bit, then down again. And then it goes into the buy there. And then that's a half decent buy. But then it's in a weekly sell, so it's very tough to take, but you can't be short, that's for sure. See, if you're following the weekly and daily combined together, you can't be short here, at that point right there. You can't be long because it's in a weekly sell. Maybe it was across the line, you could take a short-term thing, and then it finally gets you long into here. I mean, you can be long right around in here, and then you can see that's a winner chicken dinner. And then that you could take the short. That was a win. And then there is the buy right there. That was no, you can't because it's in a sell again. You can't. And then let's see, right? Let's move that over to there. And then let's move that over to there. And then the sell is right there where you can be short, and then it goes into the buy. but it doesn't go into the daily buy because you got a red and a green there. See? Red, green. I think it's what it is. Let's move this over and see. No, it's a green. So it pushes you into a buy. The next day it pushes you back into the sell. And you're underneath here. And so there's the winner, winner, chicken dinner. And then let's move this one over here. And then there's a sell there. That was another winner, winner, chicken dinner. And then there's the buy, right? But it's in a sell. And so, let's see. There is, let's move this one over to here. There's your buy, but you can't take it because you're in a short. So you just have to sit and watch it. And then this one's a winner, winner, chicken dinner. And then, let's see, that goes back to there. It's in a buy. So you can't take the short on a day-to-day, but you know it's going down, so you're not long. That's the good thing. Remember, traders, it's always better to miss a trade than lose money. And that's pretty much cleaned up now. So there's your, what is that? That is Euro JPY. Heritage says, the name Michael Doc. Really appreciate your time. The name. Oh, no problem at all. We do this because Robin and I have had it with the fake news out there. We can't take it. I've been fed up with the fake news so long, longer than my life. You know, I've been. That's why I started doing Dukascopy. I was doing Top Step and Dukascopy, and Top Step was not nice to me, and so I just did Dukascopy and left it at that. And Dukascopy has been wonderful to me. So as far as I'm concerned, they're a great organization and a solid brokerage, and so forth and so on. That's the way it looks to me. They treat me well, and I imagine if you treat them well, they'll treat you well. And that's why I do the Dukascopy. They're good guys. And so there it is. We're here every day to talk markets, real markets, not fake stuff. And that's what we do. As somebody, there's a middle-aged muscle says, we're the real deal, he says. He comes in once in a while, middle-aged muscle comes in. He's like, we're the real deal. Yeah, so that's cool. We try to be. Like I said, if we don't know something, we usually know where to go to find it. But we know a lot. I mean, between Robin and I, Robin says, between the two of us, we have over 90 years of trading experience. I think some people say we have close to 100 years in trading experience. It's very close, I can tell you that, between the two of us. I've been a member of every exchange minus the Pacific Coast. So that is what that is. Let's see, where else are we? I guess anything else out there you guys want to see? We can take a quick look at it. That's interesting. The euro yen. What was the question? The euro yen, right? So you want to say, in the long term, do you see yen weakness? I just follow my math. You know, so in this case here, you know, you see it go into the weekly buy here. When it goes into a weekly sell, I'm bear. And you can see there it's trading at minus 0.01. And plot 4 is obviously, you know, minus also. So because it's gas 5, it's not a super. Same thing here. And so that's pretty much the way we usually read it. You know, in an era of cryptocurrencies and so forth, and lightning information, and remember, the last of all things, the central banks of our planet and the Federal Reserve of the United States pretty much control all markets now, and they don't hide it. They just go outright control it. So it's really hard to give you a long-term answer because there are no bull markets and bear markets anymore. Those days of bull and bear markets are pretty much gone. You know, they don't exist because bull and bear markets were a combination of institutions willing to buy and then institutions lightening up their position to take profits and they would do that over months and months, weeks, months, that type of thing. And so you could end up with a weak market for 6 months or a year or 2 years, depending on the way the economy was being run. And those days are gone now. Now they print money like it means nothing, and they buy what's it? Is there 15 trillion, 16 trillion of equities owned by the central banks? Not billions, not millions, trillion. There's over 15 trillion floating around owned by central banks. So you don't have the characteristic that makes a bull or bear market in the long term, up or down. Long term, the bull and bear markets don't exist because they're all run by central banks, by political hacks. Remember, people work at the central bank because they're political hacks in the end. They get along with political hacks. You think that they really actually bring in like rocket scientists and so forth? No. They're political hacks. It's just like when you're paying a toll bridge, and someone working the booth, they're a political hack. They're just on a lower level of the politics, that's all. So to become a Federal Reserve chairman or chairwoman, you have to be very well aligned with politics. That's the way it works. Yeah, they have a facade, make it look like they're doing something legitimate. Oh yes, this is a genius. She's got a PhD or she's got a PhD, and she has written some wonderful papers, or they've written some wonderful papers and books. Oh yes, they're independent. No, they're not independent. They're voted on. They're chosen by the President of the United States, and they're voted on by the Senate. So that makes them a political hack. Yeah, exactly. Very good, M. Trzavaka M. Very true. Exactly. They're obsolete. Since the central banks used to be the funds, the mutual funds and the retirement funds and the investors on the private funds would follow economic data. Talk to Janos about that. Janos has talked about fundamentals and how to trade them for years. And how they're obsolete at this point. And that facade goes on pretending, but they don't really exist anymore. So that's where we're at. All right, traders, I guess you've heard enough of me and Robin rambling about this stuff at this point. What's it? Farkas says, in Romania, we have had the same central banker for decades now, since 1990. Really? Even through Ceausescu? Wow. Or his wife? Did he date Ceausescu's wife, maybe? I don't know. Far out. Oh, okay, but how about the wife? Was she brought down in '89 too? Or was it just him? So okay, see, so that's what, 30 years, one central banker. Oh, okay. Boy, they were a beautiful pair, weren't they? Oy, 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 they were crazy. We got a lot of Romanian in our family. A quarter of my family is Romanian, and my daughter's husband, he's American born, but his father and a lot of his family, and they go back and forth. He speaks Romanian. I have a Romanian tractor on my farm even. I bought that years ago. It's got a 3/4 yard bucket on the front of it. It can do things. All right, anyway, this is Doc from North America, as usual. Farkash, thank you very much. And what a good point that is, Central banker from 1990 to 30 years. What I hear, about, things going on in Romania, great internet, but not exactly good paychecks. All right, guys. Thank you, George. Thank you all. This is Doc from North America saying arrivederci. Catch you on the flip side tomorrow. Tomorrow's Happy Hump Day. And it's a 5-day week, no less. So happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Remember, I'm the singing trader. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends.